Air assault. Hello, friends, and welcome to Shero Coffee Chat. We hope you've had a great week, and thank you for joining us today. We've got a full cup ahead, so grab your Shero coffee, because we're taking a spin around the Shero resource table. Plus, we've got your chat, tip, and guest of the week. Let's give a big shout out to our host, Melissa Farmer Hill, Army Combat Veteran, host of Shero Coffee Chat, and founder of the Shero Coffee Club, where we keep the world caffeinated and women veterans celebrated. And now, reporting for duty and ready to lead the conversation, Melissa Farmer Hill.
Air assault! Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Shero Coffee Chat, where coffee meets conversation for our military and veteran communities. Thank you for joining us. So what I want to start off with is a little flight check, right? Before we take off with the show. So the first thing I want to know is, are you armed with your Shero coffee? And if you are not, you know you can always go to sherocoffee.com to place your order. Check 2, and this is an ask, please like, share, and subscribe to this program. If you are a veteran or part of the military community, or you are a supporter, we need your support, and it's absolutely free to do so. So I would be so grateful if you could do that. And our final check, I want you to grab paper and a pen, just in case, you want to jot something down. And that's it. We are ready to roll. I'm ready. Are you ready? All right, we've done our little flight check so we can take off for the Shero Coffee Chat. All right, so the first thing we always do, we take a look around the Shero resource table, because the Shero Coffee Chat, we know that life is definitely a journey that's not always easy, especially navigating through our political turbulence that we have now. That's why we definitely have to keep our heads on a swivel when it comes to our veteran community and helping our veteran community and their families. With over 16 million veterans out there, not one of us has all the answers, but together, you guys, we can find solution. And the Shero resource table is all about sharing information, resources, programs for our veteran community, because when one of us wins, how many win? We all win. So again, today, the government is shut down. I think we're on day 26, if I'm not mistaken, day 25. And I know we talked about this last week, but I want to re-emphasize the VA's contingency plan as the shutdown continues. So I did create, last week I did not have these slides, but I wanted to show you these slides today. So what's impacted during the shutdown? So we've got our VA regional offices will be closed. The VA will not process applications for pre-need burials. It's really small. I can't see. Let me enlarge this screen. I can see it now. The VA will not provide career counseling service. The VA will not provide transition assistance program activities. The VA will cease public affairs and outreach efforts to veterans, and the GI Bill hotline will be closed. So those are the things that are impacting the shutdown. Now, what is not impacted during the shutdown? So you've got the VA medical centers, outpatient clinics, and vet centers. Those will remain open. VA benefits will continue to be processed and delivered at a slower rate, okay, at a slower pace. But that includes compensation, pension, education, and housing benefits. I'm sorry, VA benefits will continue to be processed. Those are if you have them and not in the process of trying to get them. So those are two separate things. Applying for your benefits, which has significantly slowed down or come to a halt in some areas, but the VA benefits will continue to be processed if you currently have them. And the ones I just named are the ones that I'm talking about. Burials will continue at VA national cemeteries. Applications for headstone markers and burial benefits processing will continue. The Board of Veteran Appeals will continue to make decisions. There's the VA contact centers. Those will remain open, and the Veteran Crisis Hotline 988 press 1 will remain open as well. So like I discussed last week, those are the things that will be discussed. Those are the things that will be that are right now. As you guys can see, just give me a minute here. There we go. There we go. I'm navigating through this thing, so I appreciate you guys working with me. But those are the things that are shut down. Those are the things that will continue on. We continue staying in prayer. We continue to be hopeful about everything that's going on. And we do really need Congress to get it together. I mean, because we've got government workers, we've got people on active duty, we've got people in the military, just living in uncertainty. And they're really wondering, how are they supposed to survive another round of political standoffs? It's really that serious. People who serve this country, in my opinion, should never have to question if their paychecks or their benefits or their medical care will be there tomorrow. We're now at a point, you guys, where I don't know if you've seen this, where there's an anonymous donor who donated like $130 million just to ensure that our military service members would still get paid for the month. So think about that. Someone outside the system had to make sure that America's defenders could put food on their tables, because Congress is not getting their act together and pulling together. And you guys know, come on, you guys, that's not leadership. That's definitely failure. And the American people are really losing confidence. So please, please, please play politics when you're running your campaigns, but don't play with the livelihoods. I ask you, I beg you, don't play with the livelihoods of men and women who definitely protect this country, or the veterans who've already paid their dues. That's all I really had to say about that, because we need Congress to come together to do their job. It's so important. It's so important to American citizens. All right, that's it. I'm going to take a sip. And then we're going to move on to our chat of the week. And this is something we're still fighting. We're still fighting this week in our chat of the week. So let me ask you a question. What does being a veteran mean to you? What does being a veteran mean to you? This week, we're going to shine a spotlight in our chat of the week on a beautiful story about a fight that I found on military.com. And it's about Agnes Lowe. This is a 100, I repeat, a 100-year-old woman from Tennessee who is still fighting to make sure that those who served in the U.S. Cadet Nurse Corps during World War II are finally recognized as veterans. See, these women stepped up in 1943 during a national crisis. What they did was they were filling in major nursing shortages and care for soldiers and civilians. So Agnes said that they handled about 80% of all nursings on the home front. So they were doing most of the nursing. What many people don't realize is that back then, veteran meant someone who served full time in the military and was honorably discharged. It's similar to what we have now, but now but back then that was a very narrow definition. We've expanded it for National Guard, for we've expanded it for a lot of things now, because back in those days it did not include women who served in support roles or non-combatant roles, even if they wore the uniform. Sometimes they were just left out while serving their country. And because of that, cadet nurses were never given, veteran status. They weren't given discharge papers or even, the right to a burial marker. Things that just come automatic, we take for granted today. People who serve this country still do not have that. And that's what moves me most, is that this is a woman who is 100 years old, and Agnes is still using her voice to fight for the recognition that she and her sisters in service deserve. Her determination reminds me that, service doesn't always get the credit, right? Some of you, even when, as I hear stories today, service doesn't always get the credit it deserves. Especially for women who were pushed to the background, especially during those times. And it's just a reminder that Agnes, if she can keep pushing, we definitely can keep pushing. And I do believe, if I check here, give me 1 second, as you guys, thank you for working with me. I'm still navigating through this whole thing. But I wanted you to see something. It is not there. I will pull it up later. I had a beautiful picture of Agnes, and it is not there right now, but we're going to just go ahead and roll right on into our tip of the week. Yes, but I'm going to reach out to Agnes just to let you guys know, because that is just such a story that really is near and dear to my heart, that she is going to keep fighting. So we'll find out what Shero Coffee Club can do in her efforts to support that. But here's your tip of the week. Get your house in order. Life can change without warning. We all know that, right? A government shutdown, which we're going through now, a health scare, or a phone call, an unexpected phone call can turn you around, right? 180 degrees. So what I don't want you to do is wait for chaos to happen, just to remind us, I should have done that. I should have done this, or I don't want that to happen. So I want you to take time this week to get your house in order. And what does that mean? Update your emergency contacts. Review your insurance form, your health form, your life insurance form, all your vehicle insurance, all of those forms. Check in on your finances, your investments, your automatic savings. And this is the fall. This is a wonderful time to do it, to find out what's going on. And then organize, make sure you have your important documents organized, your wills, a trust, a power of attorney. Just make sure you have that either on, well, I would say both. Digital or a hard copy. I would say do both, because the thing about it is, when you have these things in order, it really helps bring clarity and peace of mind to your life. And God forbid should these things happen, but as long as you have a system in place and everything is updated. And I'll just give you a quick story. DD-214s. DD-214s. Well, those are living and breathing legal documents. Whatever information you currently have on your DD-214, God forbid, should something happen to you, that is what they will go by, right? And so you've had people who've had multiple marriages in while they were serving. And guess what? They didn't update their forms, and something happened. And guess who got the credit? So I'm saying this to say, just make sure you take a look. It's fall. It's the perfect time to do it. Update your house all the way around. Do an entire 360 on that. Okay? Take a sip. Thank you. Thank you for continuing to rock out with me. And now I get to go to my favorite part of our show. Yes, it's our guest of the week. So, Courtney Cone Sanders is the executive director of Blue Star Family's Chicagoland chapter, where she leads effort to empower military and veteran families to thrive as they serve. Woo! I love it already. A proud Army whore, spouse and mother of four, including twin daughters, currently serving in the U.S. Navy. Shout out to the twins and thank you for your service. Courtney brings both personal passion and professional expertise to her mission of building a stronger sense of belonging for military connected families across the Chicago region. Under her leadership, Blue Star Family Chicagoland has forged impactful partnerships with leading corporations, sports teams, and community organizations, creating programs that foster connection, resilience, and support for those who serve and those who stand beside them. You guys, I am super excited to welcome Courtney Cone Sanders, Executive Director of Blue Star Family Chicagoland Chapter, to the Shero Coffee Chat.
Hello, Melissa.
Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Melissa. It's so incredibly wonderful to be here with you on this kind of beautiful Sunday morning. Actually, it's nice and sunny here in Chicago.
I know. I love it. I love it. We love the sun. So when the sun is out, I don't mind cold weather when the sun is out. Well, maybe we could have a few more warm days, but as long as the sun is out, everything is good for me. Everything is good for me. So thank you again for just coming on Shero Coffee Chat. And we don't always have a lot of time, and there's so many questions I want to ask, but I want to get to some good ones. And I want to start off first off by asking, what is Blue Star Families?
So a Blue Star family, the term itself actually means an actively serving military family. But Blue Star Families, the organization, is actually the largest national nonprofit serving military and veteran families. So we don't just focus on the active duty, we actually serve veteran families also. And we do that because we recognize that transition period when someone is getting out of the military is a very critical time. And we want to be able to support the families not only through that time as well, but even afterwards.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you mentioned just the transition, which is one of the reasons why I started Shero Coffee Club, is because my experience in the transition. And so I'm so glad that, your organization, so Blue Star Families, is really focused in on that, because I think there's a gap. There's a gap because when I left the military, I didn't know anything about VA. I didn't really, you don't really know anything. So I'm glad you guys are there, not only to support those who are currently serving, but to support those in transition, because there is a huge gap there. So I'm really glad that you guys are there to fill it. So tell me, what drew you, Courtney, to this type of work?
Well, I've had a really interesting journey, actually, Melissa. I spent more than 25 years working in higher education, and at some point was a vice president of a public university here in the state of Illinois. And then back in around 2016, if you remember, Illinois couldn't pass a state budget. And at that time, I was working for a state university. And so I ended up losing my job, and I had to pivot. And I found myself in a really precarious position that I never really thought existed until it happened to me, and that was being overqualified. And so I was overqualified for every position that I was applying for, and really found myself having to pivot into an entirely different sector. And at the time, my husband was working for Catholic Charities, and he there was some positions open there, and I threw my hat, my hat in the ring, and ended up working for the Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, and running the homeless program for Catholic Charities for a little while. And that was an amazing experience. And through that, really kind of found my passion for working in the military and veteran community. And then after that, I worked for a little while for Illinois Joining Forces as their program manager, and spread my network out a little bit further. And now it's just kind of taken the next step now that I'm at Blue Star Families and have a much bigger reach. And so it's really incredible to be able to do the work that I am able to do. And to be honest with you, I think it's even almost a little therapeutic, right? I mean, like, I am a Blue Star family, right? So I get to literally serve the families who are just like me. And so for me, I'm at a point in my life, in my career, that I really want to feel the impact and be able to make an impact. And I feel that this organization gives me the opportunity to help do that.
And you know what? First of all, I want to say thank you for your continued service. A lot of times, people like you who are really doing some heavy lifting, you don't get acknowledged. People don't know. All they see is everything went well. You've helped people. So I want to give you your flowers now while I'm in front of you. Thank you for everything that you do. And you guys, so I first met Courtney. This was it Peoria?
It was Peoria.
Yeah, in Peoria. And let me tell you, so we were were you with IJF then?
I was with IJF, yep.
Okay, yeah, so she was with IJF, and I will tell you, she is a baddie, you guys. When it comes to being about her business, she is truly a baddie. And that's why she serves at some of the highest levels in these organizations, because she truly has a heart for what she is doing, and it shows in all of her work. It shows in her ability to move across different organizations. So thank you for that. Now, my next question is, so you're not only a leader, but you're a proud Army spouse and mom of Navy sailors. Sometimes, it's easy to say Army soldiers, but it's Navy sailors. So how has your own family's journey shaped the way you lead Blue Star Families? And I know you touched on it a little bit.
It's interesting for me because, I'm really able to empathize on a really deep level with what the families that I am able to serve are going through. Because a lot of those situations, I feel, I see, I've gone through with other families as I've done some volunteer work in the veteran caregiver space. And also, like I said, working in SSBF, you go through people's experiences with them, and though you take that with you into your next space, right? And so from all of those spaces that I have been in, and all of those stories that I've been even just a small part of, all of that has, I really believe, just allowed me to be very empathetic and compassionate when it comes to dealing with some of the family situations and challenges that they have. You think about our active duty military families, and those who've been on active duty understand that, if you have children, I was talking with a Blue Star family chapter member last week, and, she has a fourth grader that's been in 5 schools.
Wow.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So these children are having to navigate those things, and while the children are navigating them, the parents are trying to help them navigate them, and that's a lot on a mom, just to have to, as a mother myself, and I didn't have to navigate those situations, but being with these other families that are navigating those situations, you really just form some form of compassion and empathy, and just a real want to help them. And frankly, they're putting their lives on the line. These service members are signing a contract that says that they will put their life on the line to basically protect you and I and every other person in this country. And so in my mind, they deserve the best of the best. And unfortunately, that is not how they are often treated, as we see right now with the shutdown that's going on right now.
Yeah.
We have a program through Blue Star Families called Nourish the Service, and that program is to fight food insecurity. And right now with military families, I mean, we know that they're supposed to get paid because of some anonymous donor, but will that actually happen?
Right.
And, you know, many of those families depend on those checks. It's the only check that they have coming in. And while many people in the civilian world think that every person who's on active duty lives on a base and has everything paid for, that's simply just not how it actually works. And, you know, these families have rent to pay, and they have groceries to buy, and they have childcare to pay for. And all of those bills don't stop because the government has shut down and decided not to produce the paychecks. And so that is a real challenge that we are facing right now with a lot of our members in Blue Star Family.
And I mean, I just had to take a moment because everything you just said is so real. And you know, people don't understand. They think, oh yeah, you're in the military, so the government takes care of you. Well, if you look at what's happening right now, you can understand, well, does the government really take care of me? And like you said, the bills don't stop coming just because you have a government shutdown. And these things are real for families. One of the things, when I went to the Military Influencers Conference this year in Atlanta, the MIC, that's what they call it, the MIC. And of course, they had the stage where people would come and talk. And so they had the military spouses there. And one of my questions was, because it was really heavy on my heart, what do you do with, let's say you've got a 21-year-old, she leaves her home, she gets married, and her spouse or the spouse is assigned overseas. Now they're deployed. The military spouse is deployed, and now maybe she's, you know, back with child, navigating through an entirely new world. She left her parents' house, she got married, and now she's overseas. So I mean, this just speaks to, but being a part of and supporting Blue Star families, because it's needed.
Most common things that I hear from our families as we kind of talk in regular conversation, and it's something that I think the civilian world takes just for granted, is you know, these families often don't have someone that they can put down as an emergency contact for their kids, because they've moved to an entirely different area. They don't know anyone there, and they literally are there by themselves. And so Blue Star Families comes in, and really our mission is to create community. And we want to foster that community, not only among the military and veteran families themselves, but also try to bridge that gap between the civilian and the military community, because we know from our research, we actually put out the largest military family lifestyle survey outside of DoD. And we know from that research that the majority of the civilian world believes that they understand military families. And then we know military families, the majority of them believe that the civilian world does not understand them. So there's a huge disconnect. And that's, you know, part of our mission is really to try to educate the civilian world on military families and veteran families and the challenges, and not only challenges, everything is not bad about military life, right? There's a lot of incredible advantages. One of our daughters has been to 6 countries already.
Wow. I mean, I did 20 years, so I know.
It's incredible. Like the opportunities that also come along with it. It's not all bad, but there are some challenging things, and those challenges are where we really try to help.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what does Blue Star Families look like in action, like in the Chicago land, supporting the Chicago land area and surrounding, because you're close to Wisconsin as well. So it's this whole Midwest here.
Yep.
So what do you guys have going on?
We've got lots of stuff coming up. So we are the Chicagoland chapter. So we do serve all of Chicagoland, and we even have some families that come down from the Milwaukee area and participate in our events as well. Coming up here in Chicagoland, November 1st, next Saturday, we have a caregiver symposium that we are putting on at the College of DuPage. And that particular symposium, I'm very excited about because we are putting this on in collaboration with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, the Red Cross Military Veteran Caregiver Network, and the Carter Center. It's being hosted by College of DuPage Veteran Services, and it's being sponsored by CSX, GATX, the Marilyn Lickman Foundation, Illinois Joining Forces, ULTA, the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, the University of Chicago Office of Military Affiliated Communities, and the Veterans United Foundation. Coach is also one of our sponsors, and a little birdie may have told me that we're going to be giving away lots of Coach products at this event.
Oh, wow.
Along with everybody's going to be walking away with an incredible swag bag that's going to include a 30-ounce Stanley Cup and all kinds of other things. But the day has really been put together to fill the cups of all of those military and veteran connected people who are caring for someone, whether that is a child with special needs, an aging adult, a wounded warrior, a spouse, a sibling. We don't care. If you are caring with someone, caregiving takes a lot out of you. We want to help fill those cups back up. So that's just the tip of the iceberg on November 1st with that caregiver symposium. On November 8th, we're doing a Nourish the Service program with celebrity chef Chris Dodson, who's an Army veteran himself. He's a CHOP champion. He's been on Beat Bobby Flay in 24 and 24. And he's going to come out and do some healthy cooking demonstrations for us. And we're going to do a food distribution event. November 21st, we have a caregiver appreciation event coming up. December 6th, the holiday party for our families to celebrate the holidays. And then following later that month, I'm finalizing the final details for a toy distribution. So we have a ton of events coming up to celebrate our military and veteran families.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm so glad about that. Now, we've got the event for November 1st on the Shero Coffee Club website. So if you want to go and register, you can just click. We will add these other events. And you know what? Like, I know you like caregivers is the first step. Because you take care of, from what you just told me, you take care of so many more. So you do so much more, a lot of other things. But to just acknowledge and recognize those caregivers is so important. Because like you said, they do a lot for our, military family and our veterans. And it's so important to acknowledge everyone. And I do love how Blue Star Families, how you guys are coming together. You're identifying where the needs are and you're taking care of it. So thank you guys for that. Now, how can people, get involved with Blue Star Families? First on the list is Shero Coffee Club.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of ways to get involved with Blue Star Families. First and foremost, I would encourage people to go to our website, and that's bluestarfam.org. And if you do /Chicagoland, it'll take you straight to the Chicagoland
It's running in the ticker. Yep, it's running in the ticker now.
Right to the Chicagoland chapter, and there you can hit join Chicagoland chapter, and you can join as a member. You can join as a civilian supporter. If you're a civilian who just wants to support our military and our veteran families, we encourage you to also join because, again, that's part of our mission is to bridge that gap between the civilian and the military world. So you can join as a member. You can participate in our programs. You can volunteer with us. You can certainly donate. We are a nonprofit, and we run solely on pretty much private donations here in the Chicagoland area. So we are always looking for people to collaborate with, people who want to, support our mission and just really support our Chicagoland military and veteran families.
I'm so glad you're here in Illinois supporting our Blue Star families.
Me too. This job is really a privilege, Melissa. It really is.
Yeah, I'm just glad you're there. You guys, I told you guys would not be disappointed. Courtney Cone Sanders knows what she's doing, you guys. This is amazing. So go to the website. It's been running in the ticker. Go to the website, sign up, join, support, attend the caregiver symposium that's coming up. You can go to Shero Coffee Club website if you want to find out more information about it. We will continue to add Blue Star Family's information to our newsletters and to our website. Courtney, I can't thank you enough for just being a guest on Shero Coffee Chat. We definitely want you here next year to tell us all of the exciting things that you got going on next year with Blue Star Families. And again, thank you. So we're going to close it out there because we're out of time. And so as always, you guys, I want you to keep your heart strong and your coffee Shero. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
Thank you.
Hey there, thank you so much for hanging out with us on this week's Shero Coffee Chat. Don't forget, smash that subscribe button so you never miss what's coming next. And hey, make sure your weekday begins with Shero Coffee, where we keep the world caffeinated and women veterans celebrated. You can visit us at sherocoffee.com. We'll see you next week right here on Shero Coffee Chat and have a blessed week.